Hello, friends. I have another topic today that falls much more on the unsavory side of the spectrum. 2 weeks ago, I briefly mentioned, although Bending is scheduled to move production outside the city by 2023, they have and will continue to produce Carolus for the wintertime. To my understanding, this is still the case, but I want to share a little bit more about the upcoming closure of the brewery in the Sachsenhausen neighborhood. I first came across this post on a column at my work earlier this month. It's a call for people to show solidarity with the employees of Bending and demand that production of its beer remain in Frankfurt. As the slogan in red and white reads, "Beer needs a home." There is also a QR code that linked to a petition on behalf of the NGG, the Union for Workers Involved in Food and Drink Production and Distribution. I have signed the petition, and I kindly ask you do the same. I have 3 reasons why. What the NGG says is true. Beer does need a home. One thing I strive to show in this channel is that the drinks we enjoy after work have a history and a context, and perhaps even demonstrate something special about the region they are from. Bending has been in the city since before German unification under Bismarck in the 19th century. The brand has endured as a true Frankfurt original, and with the stroke of a pen, that's all set to end. This alienates the brand and rips it out from the context that the executives will still exploit in marketing it as a Frankfurt cornerstone. So while digging up research about this, I was curious about what motivated Radeberger to announce that they were shutting down production. While I cannot confirm that it's to trim the proverbial fat, what I found doesn't come across all that nice. According to their own site, in 2021, Radeberger made 1.7 billion euros in profit, meaning that through the labor of the brewers, maltsters, truck drivers, and other employees, the largest German brewing group came out far ahead of breaking even. If the closure is motivated as a cost-cutting measure, one wonders, will the group ever be satisfied with their revenue? It seems not, and the industrious workers at the brewery will suffer for it. At the risk of belaboring my point, Bending is marketed as an integral part of Frankfurt, and not without good reason. The Radeberger Group stands to gain much from marketing their portfolio as such, both in Frankfurt and elsewhere in Germany. For example, their top press release at time of writing highlights their donation of 182,000 euros to fund a project in the so-called Sachsen, Switzerland, just to the southeast of the namesake town of Radeberg. The name of this project is, ironically, Gemeinsam für unsere Heimat, or Together for Our Home. This begs the question, what of the homes of the other brands? Do they not matter the same? I have the petition linked down below. Please sign it and share this video with others. You don't have to be a Frankfurter to have this matter to you. That's certainly my case as a transplant from the other side of the world. All you need is to believe that beer belongs to the people who enjoy it, rather than to a faceless corporate structure. Even if all the good signing can do is symbolic, do it because it is right, not necessarily because you will be rewarded or get your way. Lastly, a short anecdote. My wife and I visited the Römerberg Christmas market this last week, and I was delighted to find a booth exclusively for Carolus. As I sipped the Doppelbock, I remembered that this time next year, should we return to the market, the beer I'd be looking for will no longer be brewed just on the other side of the Main. And that's a shame. If this is the case, here's one last salute.